Hi everyone, welcome back to another week of Diet in the Digital Age. My name is Delaney. Welcome if you are new, or welcome back. This week I want to discuss a little bit about my own personal experiences with diet culture and social media, as that has been our main topic. So part of the reason that I'm so intrigued by diet culture and social media is that it's still so new as a combination. As we touched on last week, diet culture itself is nothing new. And diet culture in traditional media, again, is something that we're kind of used to. Social media, however, is less than 30 years old. Although we've begun to take a bit of a closer look at all the impacts that social media may have on us, good or bad, and the effects of prolonged usage, our timeline is really, really small. So we couldn't possibly have all the answers to our questions now, and it will be evolving. So with that, we can just dive right in. My first exposure to actively using social media was when I opened up a personal Instagram for the first time at 12 years old. Now, by today's standards, that may not seem that young, but at the time, it felt like the biggest deal ever. I felt like I was the coolest. I had the Instagram app downloaded on my phone, and it was the old one where it was like the brown with the green, yellow, if you know, you know, the old logo. I had a YouTube account, but I never posted content. I was only an observer. I didn't really participate in creating content or sharing anything. Not that this wasn't still a big deal that I had a YouTube account and was consuming digital media from there, but the Instagram just felt a whole lot more real. Many of my friends and other people that I went to school with had Instagram and or Facebook, and it seemed to be the way that everyone was really keeping up with one another outside of school, whether that be just through posting, liking people's posts, DMing. I feel like the DMing kind of became more of a thing as I got a bit older, but in the beginning, just having the app and getting to follow people was so exciting. Apps like Vine, Twitter, and Tumblr eventually also became a part of my daily scrolling routine. Although I loved using these apps to follow influencers or celebrities or friends, family, I was definitely falling victim to diet culture at a very young age. I remember scrolling through a lot of these apps, constantly looking for new workouts or diets to follow in order to lose weight and be healthy, all throughout middle school, high school, and well through college. To be totally transparent, I still find myself getting caught up in diet culture quite frequently. It feels kind of impossible not to. Sometimes I see a workout routine or a Pilates princess inspiration video, day in my life, that draws me in and sometimes just causes me to spiral through thoughts and feelings around my body. I can't help but just think, like, am I unhealthy? If I ate this, would I lose weight quicker? If I switch up my exercise routine, increase the frequency, move stuff around, will I become more toned? All of those things. But again, like I said, this is not new. I remember when I was younger watching a lot of day in the lifestyle YouTube videos as a teen, which is funny because I feel like I watch a decent amount of those now on TikTok, more in a short form sense. But I kind of started that back when I was younger. I followed a lot of my favorite YouTubers very closely, the same way that many people do now with celebrities and influencers. I think it's also interesting to kind of watch the shift. YouTube, I feel like, used to really be YouTube and Instagram used to really be the platforms that influencers did their most work and had the biggest followings, but I feel like that's kind of shifted over to TikTok and Instagram. So just something interesting I feel like I've watched over the course of my life on social media. But like I was saying, I remember watching a lot of day in my lifestyle YouTube videos as a teen and trying to emulate diets that I saw, typically based on like a piece of fruit and maybe white rice and chicken and some water, to help get myself in shape. One day when I was in high school, I remember my mom telling me that she was reading about a new diet, or not a new diet, but she was reading about a diet that seemed really interesting on Facebook called keto. Apologies if you are a keto survivor as well. But she suggested we try it out. I, of course, was like, sure, why not? Especially if you saw it online, it's gotta be big. I then began searching and sifting through keto inspo meals, workouts to pair with keto, until eventually I started getting sick all the time. Sinus infections. My immune system was horrible. My body was clearly not gaining the right nutrients or sustenance. But I saw something on Instagram and on Pinterest that this was just called the keto flu and was totally normal. If I wanted to be healthy, I would just have to keep pushing through keto to lose the weight, and it would all be fine. 15-year-old me was not super happy with that, so I stopped and continued cycling through other diets and trying new stuff out based on what I found online. I want to note, last week I touched briefly on the Special K diet. If you didn't watch last week's video, it's just a little bit of a recap. We discussed traditional media and diet culture last week, and a form of traditional media would be magazines, television, movies, video advertisements, commercials, stuff like that. And one that I had found through my research that I totally forgot about was the Special K diet. If you're unaware or unfamiliar with it, the Special K diet was run in about 2005, and it featured the Special K cereal that we all probably know. And they had claimed that by following a specific and very restrictive diet, including Special K products, I think it was a cup of Special K, a light dinner, and Special K protein bars and shakes sprinkled throughout the day, you could lose 2 jean sizes within 2 weeks. You could lose a jean size in 2 weeks. This aligned a lot more with product and brand of a perceived image of health. Diet and food on social media is much more broadly covered in terms of what to eat. Although there's a lot of products like a Special K or ingredients that I've seen advertised through social media as a weight loss assistant, the spectrum is way broader across social media than just kind of being targeted to specific products. Speaking of products, social media is also a huge place to advertise that now. Like I mentioned, we used to kind of go a lot more off of commercials, but since social media is such a key part of our daily lives, that is where we find a lot of our advertisements. That's where we do a lot of our online shopping. We follow influencers who promote products to us that we may want. And again, many of these influencers and celebrities are people that we look up to and we want to be like. So a lot of products that they promote are typically pretty well perceived by their audiences. I remember in high school begging my mom once to buy me flat tummy tea. I had seen ads all over my Instagram of the Kardashians promoting it and talking about how it helped them stay thinner and reduce their bloating, and it just felt like something I absolutely had to have when I was 16. In retrospect, this was an obvious brand promotion, and the Kardashians just needed to fulfill that. However, I know at the time, the idea of being thinner and having the potential to look the same way that these people that everyone loved did was just too all-consuming. This is a constant and current issue with diet culture and the promoting of those behaviors on social media, whether that be dieting, excessive exercise, restricting. In past videos, we've discussed that many people on social media choose to share more of their ideal selves online, even if it's not truly representative of them as a person. Even with this understanding and knowing these things, it can still be challenging to grapple with feelings of insecurity or inferiority to those who appear as perfect and skinny online, especially if a lot of the influencers and celebrities that we look up to and want to be like project that version of themselves online as well. Again, I just want to bring it back and say that social media is so new as a concept. It feels like it's been around forever. It feels like it's something that we've always had and always depended on. But in all actuality, it's only been around for about 30 years. Things are going to change and evolve, and the way that we interact with it is also going to change and evolve. With that being said, a lot of ideals or concepts such as diet culture do exist on social media as they do in traditional media. And it is something that I think people will begin to take a bit more of a closer look at the more time that we have with it and the more we begin to see lasting impacts of prolonged usage of social media or frequent usage. But I just want to reiterate that diet culture is something that is very prevalent among social media and is something that is quite often pushed and participated in, sometimes unknowingly. Again, I'll mention I'm guilty of falling victim to diet culture, or I'm guilty of participating in diet culture at times or tuning into it on social media, because it is truly just something that is so ingrained in the way that we communicate with others on our apps. But it is something that can be very, very harmful and should definitely be looked at closer. So with that, I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. Just as a heads up, there will be no video next week. I'll be taking a little break, so I will see you the week after that. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.